Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping plan with me. This time it's for the first week of June, so June 3rd through the 9th, and I decided to just focus on one set of leftovers instead of combining the two kits like I showed in my June lineup. So I just decided to focus on the Lynner Designs leftovers that I had from Oak Avenue. This is a very old version of the kit. I think it's like a couple years old at this point, so that's why there's still heart checklists that I'm going to cut up to use as little things and things like that. And then one of the full boxes I'm using is actually from a freebie from Cinderella Paper. It is like a photo instead of an illustration, so it doesn't 100% match, but I feel like it corresponded or coordinated with the colors of this kit. I also decided to pull in some paper source washi. I couldn't remember what washi I had showed for this kit in the lineup video. I could have gone back and watched the lineup video, but I was impatient, so I'm not 100% sure that the washi actually matched the kit, but I think it worked well enough. So of course I only have a handful of full boxes left, so there's going to be a lot of open space in this plan with me. And I was considering not even filming this week because nothing too exciting happened, although we have a couple of stories for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday once we get there. But in hindsight, I'm glad that I did end up filming it because I really like how this one ended up turning out. I didn't have foil or underlays or anything exciting like that, but I actually really like how this one turned out. It was very simple and really like showcased what went on this week, which I thought was good because sometimes I feel like things get too busy looking in my planner, so it was nice to just have breathing room. It's kind of been my mantra for 2024 in my planner. It's just like having more breathing room in the planner. So I debated using the leftover headers, the pattern headers that you can see on that page right there, in the sidebar, but actually I just opted to not use any sort of washi or glitter headers in the sidebar at all and just left blank space, white space in between the checklist and habit tracker and boxes and stuff, and I actually really like how that turned out. So that was nice to discover. So yeah, I had a row of glitter headers left over from this kit, and then I used the deco the first time I used this kit, so I still had the date covers left over, and she included, I don't know if she still does, but she included little mini date dots in this kit, so I decided to pre-date the date covers before I started filming because they are very tiny and very fiddly, so those are going down right now. And yeah, it was a pretty quiet week. I was just doing some training. We did hit our first 100-degree plus day of the year in Sacramento on June 4th. I feel like that is earlier than last year. It is not out of the ordinary for that to happen. As a kid, I used to associate my birthday with like the first 100-degree day of the year. For some reason, the last several years that I've been an adult, that has not happened. So that's been nice to not have the middle of May, usually like Mother's Day weekend or the weekend after it, being 100 degrees. It still was warm my birthday weekend, I think, but it was like 90 something. Like I can deal with that. Anytime you get over 100, that's where you start to get into ow, it's hot territory. Let me know what that limit is for you. Of course, out here we love to say, but it's a dry heat, because that does make a difference, I will admit. Like, I have been back east in the summer multiple times. Specifically in July, I've been in Boston, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, and New York in totally different years, and the humidity is oof. I don't know how y'all do it back east if you are watching this and you live back there, because it's like if it's 90 and really humid, I don't love that. But then at the same time, 110, which is our forecast for the first week of July, and dry heat also is pretty miserable. But at least your sweat like cools you off then. I'm talking entirely too much about the weather. I also had these leftover headers from that Cinderella Paper freebie, so I decided to kind of zigzag those across the page. But yeah, first 100-degree day of the year this week that you are seeing here. It was mostly just hot between like Tuesday and Thursday, and then it cooled off again towards the weekend. We got really lucky in June that like every weekend, except for maybe the one where I wasn't in town, it was only like 90 something on the weekends, which was really nice because this week, the next week, or no, sorry, the week before this week, and the week after this, we did go to outdoor events. So it was really nice to have that cooler, cooler with quotes around it type of weather. And then at least in Sacramento, we get what we call the Delta breeze. It's the kind of breeze that comes off of the river delta that's south of us. So at night, most of the time during the summer, it does cool off and actually end up getting kind of chilly. Like we went out on Friday night and we're just walking around town, and I just wore like a short sleeve wrap dress, and I ended up getting cold because there was a breeze, and it was a pretty hardy breeze. So, you know, that's nice that at least it cools off at night. That is a big difference, at least in California versus a lot of other states. Like it'll get really, really hot in the daytime, but then at night, it'll cool off. Like the difference between our daytime and nighttime temperature could be as much as like almost 40 degrees. Whereas I've noticed other places, it'll be like 80 and humid, and then like 70 and humid at night. So you don't really get any relief. Again, I could talk about weather forever. Our local meteorologist on the NBC affiliate station here, which is, I actually interned there when I was in college, he just retired, and like everyone agrees that they're like so sad about it. Like they're happy that he gets to retire, but he's kind of like a local celebrity, but not in like a bad way. He's just like a nice guy who knows a lot about the weather. So yeah, he's really nice. But yeah, we talk a lot about the weather out here. Lord, Jessica, we don't need to talk about it that much though. Moving on, the sidebar is complete at this point. I had a habit tracker for going outside because during the summer, I tend not to do that. So I've been enjoying our back patio a lot lately. So doing that. And then I have my regular dinners sidebar. I had to pull in a this week header from another kit from leftovers. And then I had 2 boxes in the sidebar that we're going to take a look at right now. One, I'm going to mark with an Itty Bitty Sticker Co. icon that we switched the cats back to clay litter. We've had them on pretty litter since November because, and actually even before that, because Clover had started eating it. It was like a neurological problem that she was having. She stopped doing that recently, so we were able to switch back to clay litter, but it is more dusty. But the pretty litter was like way too absorbent, like it never dried out. So I'm glad we're not using that, but we tried to use pine litter this spring because it doesn't clump, so it wouldn't be like a hazard if Clover ate it, but it also because it doesn't clump, like they didn't like it. They like their clumping litter, my cats, but clay litter is so dusty, and we have the low dust formula, and it still like gets in their noses and stuff. So I don't know what to do about that. If you have any suggestions for cat litter, let me know. And then the second thing I marked in the sidebar with a carrier from Plan With Me stickers is I wrote in, I can fix him. No, really, I can. Oh, maybe I can't. I had an idea based on some things that happened this weekend for like, so there's a Taylor Swift song from her new album that has that title. I don't really love the song. It's whatever. I find it kind of, I just don't want to listen to it. But I thought it would be really funny for like TNR, so trap, neuter, release for male cats. Like, I can fix them. No, really, I can. To have like a t-shirt for a program. I'm not involved in local TNR efforts. I would be if the trapping wasn't so tricky and I didn't have a million squirrels that I could accidentally trap. But yeah, we'll get to the story about this on Saturday. Monday, the first thing I marked with a sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. was that week 2 of Clover's medical observation was complete. And then I marked playing with both of the cats with another Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Then I marked doing laundry with an icon from a Lynner Designs freebie and a script from Magical Sticker Co. And I marked doing a workout. I'm going to end up straightening out that sticker in a moment because I don't like the placement of it like that. But that is from Oh Hello Co. And then I voiced over a Plan With Me. So that icon is from Planet Hannah in gold foil. Clover's crying right now because I'm not paying attention to her. I put ice cubes in her water bowl to give her something to do. That's not enough. She needs a lot of attention lately. Anyway, then I wrote in that the girls, aka my 2 cats, ate lunch together side by side without any commotion. So that was really cute, I thought, because this time last year, they Evie hated Clover. So I just marked that with a kitty love icon from Once More with Love. And then the next thing I'm going to mark is filming another plan with me. So I have a planner that was from the Lynner Designs freebie and a planning time script that is also from Lynner Designs in some sort of pink color, but I do not know the names of her foil colors very well, just because I don't typically order that much foil from her. So it was on a freebie anyway, so no idea what color it was, even if I knew. That sentence did not make sense. I'm sorry. But like when I get freebies of foil, I'm just like, I could guess what foil color this is, but I might be wrong. Then at the end of the day, I'm going to mark that we weighed Clover because we're doing that once a week just to keep track for health reasons. So I'm going to put in a scale from Cinderella paper and layer over that a gold foiled icon from Plannahannah. And then finally, I was still doing my Parks and Recreation rewatch this week. So I'm going to put in a little television, or at least I think it's supposed to be a television stand that was from the Lynner Designs freebie. It could also technically be a vanity with like, maybe that's a mirror and not a TV screen, but we're gonna pretend it's a TV screen. Moving on to Tuesday, not much to mark this day. I marked that I put on cat TV for the cats on the television because they like watching that. I don't do that as often as I used to now, I'm realizing. I should probably put that on. It's so funny. Clover recognizes the main channel that I will put on for her has like a very distinct like 3 tweeting sounds, 3 bird calls at the beginning, I think to mimic like, comment, subscribe. And when she hears that, she will come running from another room. She gets so excited. It is hilarious to me. So I marked that, as well as how it was hot and also windy this day. This was the first 100-degree day of the year. And both of those stickers are from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. So that's a little bit of the scary part with the hot weather. Sometimes it'll be like 105 and windy, and that's why we have wildfires out here. We are in the city, like the very urban developed area, so we would not be at much risk for like a giant fire taking us out, thank goodness. We're not really the type of people who want to live like out in the places that homeowners insurance companies really don't want to insure anymore. So that's good for us, but we would still end up with a lot of wildfire smoke if something happened nearby. I also filmed my Q3 flip through from last year, as well as another plan with me. So I just marked that with some washi that was left over from the kit, or like a washi icon, I should say. And then I was really into watching comedian Josh Johnston's videos, as well as Parks and Rec and After Midnight on YouTube. So I just marked that with a Wonton in a Million giant sticker because I had a lot of space to work with on Tuesday. I've really been enjoying Josh Johnson. I found out about him. He's on The Daily Show and he toured with Trevor Noah. But I found out about him because he was a guest on After Midnight a few months ago. And I just thought he was so hilarious with like how his delivery, like how he tells stories or how he makes comments is like so unexpected and funny. So I found his YouTube channel, and I think once a week, every Tuesday, he uploads like one bit from a show he's done or one set that he's done recently. So that's really cool. And I really like his type of humor. I think it's quite funny. So I've been really into stand-up comedy the last year, probably because life has been really hard. And so stand-up comedy is something that I can really go to and turn to right now. Whereas like sitting down and watching a drama or even committing to any sort of like show that is like has a story is really not my thing right now. And I'm not into reality television. So basically every variation of Great British Bake Off and stand-up comedy is kind of what I've turned to right now. And then of course I watch a ton of YouTube. Wednesday, I marked again that I did another workout. I've been managing to like work out twice a week lately. That's about as much as I can manage. Then I marked specifically playing with Evie. I don't know what Clover was up to, but I guess Evie really needed a lot of attention this day, so I marked that with an Itty Bitty Sticker Co. cat and a Play with Evie custom script from Plannahannah. Then I voiced over another plan with me, so I have another Plan a Hannah icon for that. And then I was feeling really good about myself this day, and then like I got on Instagram, and then I felt really bad about myself. That's the TLDR. I'm not going to get into specifics, but I was just in my feelings, so I marked that with a depressed Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and an In My Feelings script from the Lynner Designs freebie. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm kind of like embarrassed of feelings that I have about a lot of stuff anyway. So it's like I don't really want to get into specifics. I'm sorry to vague book like that, but I just have a lot of feelings. And then I feel guilty about it because I feel like a lot of people are like, just get over it. And I'm like, thanks, I'll get right on that. you know, like I would never say that to somebody else. I would never just be like, well, have you thought about not feeling that way? So I don't know why I do that to myself, but it's because a lot of people do say things like that, especially on like Reddit and stuff. So I don't know. I am trying always to disrupt negative thought patterns because I don't need to focus on some of the things that I focus on. But at the same time, feel your feelings, especially when you're going through a tough time. Like you are allowed to have negative feelings. And I do feel like both online and in real life, I do know some people who are just like, we'll just like fix it. And it's not that simple. I'm sure you're aware. Anyway, end of Wednesday, I started planning to visit my sisters in San Diego. That trip has come and gone at this point, but I think we were like setting up the group chat for people who were going this day. So I have a map, Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I just finished off the day by watching Parks and Rec and After Midnight. So the television that you saw at the end of Wednesday was from Lynner Designs. Thursday, I did mark that Clover seemed to be a little sleepier this day. I think it was like just in my head, but also like it was really hot. So she might have just been sleepier that day, but I was keeping an eye on that just because, we're monitoring her for any changes with her being off of medication. So that cat was from Beneva Creations. I used these glasses from Sugar Pop Fizz to mark that my husband was working from home. And then I had waited until this day to work on the training course I was taking at this point because a lot of it was like doing discussion boards with other professors taking the training. So I couldn't always complete stuff until other people did. So I just waited till later in the week to even try. That icon is from Lynner Designs. I was watching more Laura DIY on YouTube. So that icon is from Sugar Pop Fizz. And then I painted my nails like a bright hot pink summery color. So those are obviously gone at this point, but I marked that with a Lynner Designs icon from the kit, and then I used the alarm clock from the icon sheet of the kit to mark watching Parks and Recreation, and at the end of the day, I played with both of the cats. So I have another Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. for that. Friday, I marked with kind of this grumpy face girl from Beneva Creations that my lips were really dry because it had been so hot out. And then a second time, I marked that my husband worked from home with those Sugar Pop Fizz glasses. Then I was working on those discussion boards that I was talking about and doing the final module of the course that I was taking. I did finish that course this week. I had to work on it over the weekend, unfortunately, because people were like, honestly waiting to the last minute to do the discussion boards, and part of completing the course was you had to reply to them, but I would post and there would be no posts available for me to reply to. So I basically had to check every day until the end of the course to like fulfill the requirements. I don't know. As an instructor, I don't really love discussion boards anymore. There are good ways to do them, but I don't think like doing them every week is always necessary for an online class. I think there are other ways to get students working with each other, especially in writing, which is what I teach. Anyway, so I marked that with an Alicia Craft icon. I was editing my flip through, so that YouTube icon is again from Sugar Pop Fizz. And then I filmed my birthday Plan With Me, so that icon is from Plan With Me stickers. Then we went to First Fridays with our neighbors / friends. They wanted to go. I think this was the first, I don't know, they might have done them a couple of months before this, but I feel like a lot of cities do this, like, or neighborhoods do this, where like all the shops and vendors and even people who aren't like brick and mortar businesses in that area are invited to come out and set up a booth or things like that. So we checked that out, which was really cool. I ended up buying what I thought was going to be a birthday gift for my sister whose birthday is in June, but I'm actually going to save it for a different sibling because I think it would be more appropriate. So, but yeah, we did a bunch of shopping. That is a very old sticker from a shop that is called, I think, Paper Seagull Co. I met them at PlannerCon like a while ago. I don't know if they're still open, but that girl's really cute. Then we went to a restaurant to eat dinner, a place that we hadn't been already. So that icon is from the kit, again with our neighbors slash friends. And then we went to a new ice cream shop that recently opened up. So I marked that with a wonton and a million ice cream sticker. They had to close today, July 1st, because I guess their air conditioning went out. Eey. Not good for an ice cream shop to not have air conditioning. And then at the end of the night, I was watching Parks and Recreation, so that television is from Beneva Creations. Okay, story time on Saturday. TLDR, I had 3 cats in my yard. So I have 2 cats inside. I had 3 cats outside the window that one of my cats was very upset about because this is her house. 5 cats on one postage stamp size lot is too many cats. Too many cats. We first heard one of the cats caterwauling or crying at like 4 in the morning. So I marked that with a Molly argument sticker because I first thought it was like a female in heat. In hindsight, I think it was one of the boy cats calling out for lady love to strike him. So my husband went to Dungeons and that's an impossible phrase to say right now. My husband went to Dungeons and Dragons and I was home alone with the cats. Or maybe he just went to the hardware store. I don't know. So I look out our bedroom window because I keep hearing these cats. And I see at least 2 cats who are fighting each other. And I can tell there's probably a 3rd cat in the corner that I just can't see because of where the window is that they're fighting over. One of the cats, I called him Mr. Steal Your Girl. Later at night, I made up names for these cats because that's an insight into who I am as a person. Okay, so Mr. Steal Your Girl was like a typical tomcat. He looked like he had the face shields. He was an orange boy. And he looked a little beaten and battered, like he'd seen some fights. So he was beating up on this gray male cat who was smaller and looked like more taken care of. And I realized later on what they were fighting about was this female Siamese cat that they had cornered. All of them were making noises and doing stuff that I'm just like, oh God, I think we're going to have kittens eventually. This is not going to be good. So eventually they all went away, but they kept coming back to our house and Evie was really upset. Evie's my 6-year-old cat. She's been outside. She's been pregnant. She's seen some shit and she does not like other cats. So eventually she saw, especially the gray male cat who was like, hey, and she's like, no. So she started meowing in a very upset tone that I have not heard since last summer when we brought Clover home. And so what happens is Clover hears that. Clover can't get up in the window right now. So she hears Evie being all upset like that. Clover starts hissing because the last time she's heard Evie scream like that it was directed at her. But she doesn't get that now it's not directed at her, it's directed at these other cats outside the window. And Clover, poor innocent baby who's been spayed since she was like 10 weeks old or whenever, I don't know exactly when they did it. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. But we got her at 11 weeks old and she was already spayed. She doesn't understand what's going on at all. So yeah, Evie was very upset. And so eventually later in the day, they all went away. But the poor Siamese girl, she had like the most blue eyes. She looked up at me through the window at one point and I could tell she was just like, help me. So I was like, okay, if they're still here tomorrow, I'm going to start calling rescues and things like that. Or realistically, the shelters are so packed here lately that they would probably like want to just TNR the pets. I don't know if they're pets. That's the other thing. The gray one and the Siamese one seem to like want to hang out together. Like maybe they were running together and the orange boy was like an interloper. I don't know. They never came back. I'm pretty sure the gray one we had seen before, but like in the wintertime. And I think Evie had locked eyes with him at one point when she was looking out the door. So he's been around and I think he might belong to a house that's like a couple doors down from us. The other 2 I have never seen again, never seen before. Don't know what was up with that, but yeah, that was really stressful just because it was really upsetting Evie. And then Evie in turn was upsetting Clover and I was stressed and trying to figure out what do I do. So that was Saturday for you. I was also doing discussion boards. I applied to a job And oh, then the other weird thing that happened this night, someone like really frantically rang our doorbell. And luckily we have like a screen door slash security door, because I opened the door not really thinking about it. I thought it was my neighbor, like our friend upstairs. And it was this guy not wearing a shirt who had been digging through our recycling bin. We have like a little gate that doesn't lock around our front porch. So it was just a little disturbing. And he was like, "Can I have some coffee?" And I was like, I just shut the door because I'm just like, why did I open the door? So I felt bad about that, but nothing happened. Nothing resulted from it. I just need to be more careful about opening the door. He did not seem well, and luckily he went away after that. But that is kind of some of the type of people we're dealing with in our neighborhood, and I feel bad for them, but I'm also like not going to invite them inside my house. You know what I mean? Sunday was day 20 of Clover's observation. I know I'm not really narrating what stickers I'm using. If you have questions about it, you can ask me down below. I marked a couple of milestones until a couple of our friends' weddings later this year. And then we went to Sacramento's Croatian extravaganza, which is something from my childhood. We used to go with my grandfather, who was Croatian American. Both of his parents immigrated to the US. So he was born here, but he felt very connected to his Croatian heritage. He passed away back in 2011. So we don't go with him anymore, obviously, but my dad wanted to go, which my dad's not Croatian, my mom is, but my dad really wanted to go this year. So we went to Mass at the Cultural Center. It was held in Croatian. So because I was raised Catholic, I mostly get the gist of it, but I had no idea what they were saying. Then there was a barbecue afterwards. You can buy all sorts of different roast meats that they make. So I marked that with a barbecue sticker. And then there was music and colo, I think. That type of dancing, just traditional dancing. And then we came home. It was very warm out there, so we had to chill out for a bit. And we booked flights to Mexico City for one of our friends' weddings. The people getting married are both friends of my husband's from graduate school, and the bride is from Mexico City. Like, she moved to LA for grad school, but other than that, she's lived in Mexico. So that's where they're getting married, and I'm quite excited about it. I'm a little nervous just because it's going to be like a pretty quick trip to go pretty far, but it should be a lot of fun. And then I watched Parks and Recreation at the end of the day. So that was my week. I totally ran out of time, and I'm going to have to go adjust how quick those clips went by. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you were doing well. If you're not doing well, I hear you. My thoughts are with you as well. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.